Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Signal Over Noise. Today, we're lucky to have Jenny Weeden with us, and she is the founder of Accelity. Am I saying that correctly?
Accelity.
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 Okay,
Yep.
Accelity, and I want to get into that name too. Um, And what caught my eye about Accelity and Jenny is they come right out and say, "Hey, we are bold and we want bold clients." So, Jenny, with that setup, tell me a little bit about yourself as well as Accelity.
Yeah, thanks, Jeffrey. Yeah, I'm Jenny Weeden, as everyone's heard, and I'm the president and a partner at Accelity. Have been at Accelity for over 10 years. Did not start as a president or partner, actually started at a pretty entry-level role and grew with the
Really
business. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so I definitely know a lot about the business. I have worn many hats in my time here. I often joke that not all of them have looked great, but in a small and scaling business, sometimes that's what it takes at an agency. As far as Accelity is concerned, we are a very growth-minded marketing agency, and you said it. We love working with bold companies. We want to work with scaling companies who really want to grow faster. And our strategies, our processes, and our execution actually really help with that. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me and Accelity.
Perfect, perfect. When I was looking at your website, and I really admire great creative writing, that's on point. And I saw the phrase bragworthy. Tell me about bragworthy, where that came from, and tell me about a few things you'd like to brag about, wins you've had recently.
Yeah, brag-worthy. Yes, I think that our roots at Accelity have started in tech, and we still work within tech, and in a lot of industries that you might consider boring. We've
Like, for
like
example,
like finance, insurance, maybe at times healthcare, where and so we're thinking about how do we make fintech companies or insurance companies stand out? How do
I love
we
it. I
change
love it.
from be to boring, we often say, to something that makes a splash, that is brag-worthy, that isn't just kind of the same old standard. And so that's really where brag-worthy comes in. Yeah, I forgot your other question.
No,
Wins.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's really the crux of it is,
yeah,
uh, what have you, let's get a little bit more specific.
yeah.
So you have a healthcare company, who maybe from a legacy point of view have done their
Mhm.
marketing or their messaging in a very straight, maybe boring, safe way.
Yeah,
So how did you turn up the volume a little bit, turn up the excitement? Can you give
yeah.
us an example of either, a healthcare company or whoever uh,
Whoever, yeah.
you'd like to
Um,
use?
we've I want to talk about there's a company. I won't name names, but there's a business that we've worked with in sort of like an education nonprofit space
Sure.
who was going through a transition, and they just needed a complete rebrand. They were like, we don't even know how to talk about this or what this should look like. And so we got to rebrand everything. We got to rename them and really dig deep into like what's the intention, what's the purpose, and the why here. I think often that gets really missed in many situations where it's like, let's get something out, let's do the colors and the logo, but without the intention behind it. So we're really good at taking a step back and saying, listen, we understand every company we work with, they want it done yesterday, right? But like,
Mhm.
do we want it done yesterday, or do we want it done right? And so I think that's where we're really good at, for that company, taking a step back, understanding where they wanted to go, and then creating visuals and imagery and a name that they are proud of and can stand behind. And that brand's doing quite well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious, and if you'll share, what does that look like? So when you say you step back
Hmm.
and you really try to develop, um, some really deep understanding
Yeah.
about what that brand is going to
Mm.
stand for. Would you share how you do that? Would that,
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
sharing the secret sauce,
No, yeah,
I'm curious how you go about doing that.
absolutely. So I think something where we've been very proud of is our processes. And they didn't happen overnight, but we have really solid processes in place around company overview. So when we're kicking off, we take time in onboarding to genuinely understand the business. And so that means understanding past history, anything that's relevant. We're understanding buyers. We're digging into buyer personas as well. We're asking, okay, what is the current buyer's journey? How are they getting to you? Then we also want to understand the sales process, because marketing doesn't end when somebody's sales ready. We need to understand how to help people through that process. So we're asking many, many questions. I mean, I'm not really giving away secret sauce because we have documents that are diving in really, really deep on
Uh-huh.
specifics.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think those are the key things, is understanding buyer intent, and all of the things that any good marketer would be digging into. And I know like our copywriters are right there with our account managers, our
That's
designers
the key, isn't
are
it?
digging in as well. I mean,
Right.
our copywriters have the intention of learning a business within 30 days. Within 30 days, we should be able to at least speak to main points, and we might not understand all nuances, but marketing is a partnership. Like when you work with an agency, it's a partnership. And I'd say, within the first 3 months, we're really hitting our stride with copy. But yeah, it's having the right people in the room too. We can't work in silos, especially at a business our size. So yeah,
Yeah. So how do you bring the consumer in, um,
the
to
client.
these businesses? To the educational company. How do you get them involved? How do you listen to them,
Yeah.
and make sure that the consumer's needs and wants and fears and aspirations are brought into to the work with the writers and with everybody involved in the account for that matter.
Yeah. When you say consumer, are you speaking to our clients or their buyers?
Their buyers,
Okay,
yeah,
I
the
thought
end
so. I just
consumer.
wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Yeah, so I mean, again, within those processes, we are using our clients as resources. So
Okay.
they are in all of those conversations. We are filling out the documentation alongside them. We are ensuring that our team is reviewing that and internalizing it. And frankly, from a then copy and execution perspective, our strategic copy manager is involved in actually leading a lot of the exercises. Tell
So
me
that's really
about,
a debrief. Sounds like that's a debriefing process where you're
yeah,
debriefing
there is,
your
yeah,
client, yeah, contacts. Yeah. Do you ever do
absolutely.
primary research with the end-end consumer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we then do have to take all of that in and do additional research. And, we'll look on sites like LinkedIn, for example, or
Ah,
if they have a sample size of these are what our ideal clients look like, and maybe they have a few clients in mind, we want to look at patterns and recognize, what are the similarities? Where are they different? Like, what are the nuances? Yeah. So I do think there is a lot of intentionality in our process around
Yeah.
understanding buyer very early on. Yeah,
Um, I noticed you guys seem to really lay into and utilize LinkedIn.
we do.
I know
Yep.
you've written about it extensively. Um, what's the latest and greatest in terms of leveraging LinkedIn as an agency, as a marketer?
Mhm.
What are you
Yeah.
learning? What's changing? What's up with that today?
Yeah. Well, from a trending perspective, I will say, just in terms of actual posting, what's working on posts today, carousels. Video is kind of dead on LinkedIn right now. Single image is fine, but people are really looking for that deeper knowledge. So that is what's been successful in a very granular space. But like frankly, what I what I notice is the people who are consistent, trends or not, the people who are consistent every week and who engage in the content of others, like maybe they have a few influencers or colleagues that they're consistently connecting with on LinkedIn, that's what works. Being consistent. You could have the most viral post ever, but then if you never post again, what does it matter? And not every post is going to go viral. In fact, I was in a session with LinkedIn creators several months ago, and they were talking about how the algorithm is really tightening up because LinkedIn sees individual creators as a necessary evil, essentially. That's not,
Hmm.
it's not bringing LinkedIn
I've been
value or
called
money,
worse.
yeah, exactly. But it's so it really is, you've got to stay consistent. Not every post is going to get the reach you want, but over time you can really build an
So
audience.
that sounds like that's the core advice you're
Yeah.
giving your clients in terms of using LinkedIn as
Yes.
maybe an outreach.
Yeah.
Um, are you guys using it as a marketing
Yeah.
vehicle, as an
Yep.
outreach vehicle? And help us understand how you are using that.
Yeah. I mean, Accelity, of course, we're posting on LinkedIn, and we like to highlight um, what
What's more important, your website or your LinkedIn
mm,
profile for Accelity?
for us, it's a mix. I'm not
Yeah,
going to say
okay.
one is more important than the other.
So yeah, yeah, okay.
The LinkedIn is a channel of distribution to
Hmm.
get people to our site in a sense, or get
Okay,
people to talk to us.
okay.
The
All
site
right.
still is valuable, but I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
Uh-huh.
But from a value and LinkedIn perspective, I would say like Jackie's brand, especially, and my brand to an extent, the human pieces of our brand will always outperform our company page. And that's because we are people, we're being real, and our voice and our company voice is very strong and personable, but there's nothing quite like connecting with another human. And we get to just talk about leadership and marketing and giving our
Right,
honest perspectives. And if people are drawn to that, then great.
right.
But yeah, but I don't think,
It hooked me.
yeah, well, thank you.
It
Yeah,
worked. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, that's how
Um,
we're creating connections.
yeah, before I forget, Accelity. It's not a word I come across very
Yeah.
often. Can you tell me the background on the name and you know what you guys
Mhm.
believe it means?
Well, when I first started at Accelity, I asked Jackie, I was like, what does this actually mean? Because I was not a part of the naming
Yeah.
process.
Right.
And she said, well, it's a combination of accelerate and velocity. And I think that that speaks to, again, the really growth-minded nature of this business. And I've experienced it on a personal and professional growth level, and I also see it in how we approach our clients. If we are not staying ahead of trends, if we're not moving forward and trying to figure out and resolve issues and things like that, then we're staying behind. And that's not a
Yeah.
place we want to be. So that
Yeah.
is kind of the
Yeah.
origin of the word. Yeah.
Great, great. Transitions nicely into my next topic, trends. What's going on
Yeah.
out there in the world? What are you seeing, perhaps, that maybe you're just beginning to feel and sense that maybe others are not seeing or dismissing that you think are going to be important? What kind of signals are you seeing that I think, you think are going to emerge to be very important in the next
Yeah.
6, 12, 18 months?
I'm sure a lot of this will come down to AI. And AI has been around for a bit now and
Right.
longer than we'd even like to admit or acknowledge, I think some of us.
Or no. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I'm seeing consistently, and I think people are not, we are staying on top of this, but I'll see companies where traffic has dropped or they feel like SEO isn't working, and that's because it's not. And that's because people aren't searching that way. And
Well,
so SEO has gone beyond to what we would call answer engine or generative engine optimization. And that's something we're really seeing where people are not prioritizing how they get into those the chat GPT or perplexity, et cetera, results. So that's something we're noticing and we're working and continuing to stay on top of.
mhm.
What else? Yeah, I think a lot of it does really come down to AI, but um I
So
think
how do you guys, as an agency,
yeah,
couple questions. How do you stay on top of the latest in
yeah,
AI? How do you, what do you guys read? Do you watch? Do you
yeah,
attend? I mean, how do you stay on top of it?
right. When when ChatGPT magically and OpenAI magically were like, this exists now, several years ago, I think in like
It's
2022,
official.
that was like, this is happening. We had two team members who were like, we want to be subject matter experts. Let's go. Dove in and did team training with us. We are constantly training. We've got subject matter experts on our team who are helping us to continue to learn and stay on top of trends. We also internally have a program called Growth Hero. So essentially, every single quarter, each team member has to pick a path of learning. And right now, a lot of our team is getting into a tool called Gumshoe, which is helping us understand um, answer engine optimization, GEO, as well, results, and helping our clients. I mean, one of our team members implemented it for a client and it was an incredibly successful implementation. So we are staying on top of this in many ways, whether it's through the formal growth hero process or just having dedicated resources. And I will say, Jackie, so the CEO of Accelity, is has built agents already for us too. So she's built oh my gosh, what is it? A sales research agent as well as a quoting agent for us.
Well,
So it's
you better
really,
put the hooks on her. I just read an article last night that said AI agent builder is the job role or title of the future. And, when I say future in this day and age, it's probably for the next 12, 18 months. So
yeah,
hook her
truly.
down. I know she's the
She's
CEO.
invested. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes, yes.
But it's been, and I'm about to jump into more of that with her too, but she wanted to
Uh-huh.
take a first stab at some of this, but that's where we're at, and we really do try to stay on top of trends
Yeah,
and
yeah,
educate our clients too. We don't
yeah.
want to be a gatekeeper of knowledge.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So how are you using it in the agency operation side of the business?
Yeah.
Separate from helping your clients,
Yeah.
gain more customers. How are you guys using it to,
Yeah.
run the agency,
Hmm.
build the agency, what have you?
Well, to what I just said before, from a sales research perspective, it's incredibly helpful. It's helping us streamline a lot of our sales activities from research and just sending out really strong quality emails to prospects um,
Right.
to again that quoting agent. Our quoting is so specified and it can be incredibly complex for our internal team to take on. It takes many hours at times, but if we can streamline that, it makes it so much easier. So it's just really saving us.
Sure, you feel better about it since you're president, feeling
Yes.
good that there's going to be some margin at the end of the day too.
Yes, operationally, I want our team to be spending as much time on client work as possible. So knowing that we're taking them away from some of the internal work is ideal. But yeah,
Accomplishing that.
I do. I think we're getting there. It's, it's a work in progress, but I really do feel like we're streamlining quite a bit. And we do want to make sure that we're doing that for our clients as well. If I can um, have AI help me with, let's say, copy research, or our copywriters will use it for copy research to understand and better create a blog or an offer, whatever that might be, to save that client time is incredibly valuable to be able to do more for them. Like the more we can save time, the more we can offer to clients, and that creates value.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure does. It's a great recipe. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Hmm.
All right. So let me, we've talked about AI. We've talked about how clients are using it. That's all well and good. So now let's talk about challenges.
Hmm.
It sounds like things are going real well,
Yeah.
but there's always challenges.
Yes.
Nothing's ever perfect,
Right.
and things are changing. So talk to me about the challenges you guys face today.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned we're a smaller agency. We've got about 14 full-time people on the team with part-time team members and freelancers supporting as well. But that said, there's when we're shifting in our scale, Jackie and I still have a bit more owner dependency from our team members, so team needing us more, which is, again, when you're trying to make that transition from like 10 to 25 on a team, it's very difficult
I
to
imagine.
remove yourself from some of the day to day. I think we're doing a good job, and we have been talking about that a lot, but there are times when our team needs us more, and trying
What
to
would
find
help
a
you make that
balance.
shift? Well, let me be a
Right.
leader. I've read all about your leadership skills, and very noteworthy.
Yeah.
What would help you make that shift from being a
Yeah.
leader of a 10-person full-time staff to, let's just say, let's be realistic, a 20-person
Yeah.
full-time staff with freelance support?
Right.
What would help you?
So what we have been doing is really trying to train and upskill our team to say, instead of asking me, I want you to know how. And to give our team, we continue to try to remind our team they have autonomy, they know what they're doing, and we trust them. And so I think some of that upskilling is where we're at right now, to be able to say, you know this, let's formalize what that looks like and help you take more of this on.
Right.
So
So
that's,
upskilling.
yeah,
What
absolutely.
else? What else would help you?
I know we're looking at hiring. We're just trying to identify that. I would say that's actually, when you talk about challenges, that's another tough spot to be in at a scaling agency, is understanding when to hire the right people. So we're assessing what it might look like to bring in like a middle management type role. But the timing has to be right. I think we're getting there. I think this year it will come to that, but we've got to figure that out. And just we're constantly talking about hiring and assessing those things. But yeah.
Okay, what about operationally? What are going to be the challenges as you go from a 10-person organization to a 20-person operationally? Let's
Yeah.
say you have the people. Let's say you figure out the economics and
Yeah.
how to pay them and all that good stuff. Boom, it's done. Now, what do you foresee to be the operational challenges in going from 10 to 20?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, yeah, assuming we have all clients, and again, like you said, we are able to pay them. um, I think things can get lost in translation. Like communication continues to be very important for our team, and transparency is one of our core values. And operationally, I'd want to ensure that, processes wouldn't break down, or training new team members, that was consistent. Again, consistency, kind of the it's a lot of those things that I think about, like where's the waste, where are we not maintaining consistency, what processes don't make sense anymore. And I think that's one of the things that is actually one of our strengths, is that we are constantly evaluating processes too for our
Hmm.
clients,
Hmm.
because
Yeah, you're open to that.
as we
Not
grow,
stuck.
our clients grow, you
Yeah,
know.
great, great.
Yeah, so
What about okay, so we're jumping from 10 to 20. We've got the people, okay?
yep,
Magically appeared and at the right price.
yep.
And then let's presume the communication and the structure and all the SOP stuff is nice and tight to have, it operate at 20 the same way it did when it was 10. What about now keeping them busy?
Hmm.
Is that going to be easy? Uh,
Yeah, that's the big question, is, again, if we have the clients, we have to have the clients to be able to do the work.
Chicken and egg kind of thing, huh? What comes
Exactly.
first?
That I would say again is one of our challenges. Sometimes we have in the past hired before we were ready. So we have to be super intentional about
So get those things really in sync.
exactly. Yep.
People,
Yep.
the pipeline, the clients,
Hmm.
and the communication structure.
Yeah. We don't
Yeah.
hire before we're ready. Um, anymore. So that is a key ingredient too. And we watch billables very closely. We don't want to overwhelm our existing team. And we can see when there's clearly no need for another hire, because the team is, maybe at minimum, or billing within an even pace. So, yeah.
Are you real numbers driven, or is it just because you look out there and you see Tommy, playing ping pong way more now than he used to? I mean, how do you keep track of that? Is it a numbers game or just a sensing, a knowing?
It's a numbers game. A few years ago, there we had a billable system and it was not working. And I did research and said, here's where we're at, here's where we need to be, here's what most agencies are doing. I don't think we should do that. I don't want to be like most agencies. I
Yeah.
like treating my team like people. If Tommy were playing ping pong, I'd be like, hey, can I join you? You know what I mean? Like
And
I
beat
so
him. And
so
beat him.
we and beat him.
Well, that's a
But
guy thing. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm being a guy again.
no,
Yeah.
you're good. But
Yeah, you just want to
yeah,
no, I got to be careful here. You just want to have camaraderie. Yeah.
exactly.
I want to beat you.
And and I think numbers are important because they tell a story. Before that system was set up, our team was very confused. They had no idea why billables mattered. And then
I
I had to
see.
explain it a few times and really go through it with the team, but something clicked. And they were like,
Yeah.
this makes sense. I understand like why this matters. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, from a numbers perspective, we have
Right.
transparency around that and they know what's going on.
Right. So is that true today? I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of transparency with how the business is doing.
Yeah, and the team calls for that. And we have a very tenured and professional and talented team. And we work very closely with them. We've worked with them, many of them, for many years. And there's no reason why we can't be transparent about how the business is doing. And we always have been. Well, at least,
Mhm.
I don't know about always. In the early days, growing pains,
Right.
sure, but for the last five,
Right.
6 years, it's been very transparent.
That's really, really interesting. I'm sure you reward them properly, and that's
Yeah.
got to be a key component with being able to be transparent, so
Yes.
they don't look at the numbers and say, "Whoa, there's a
Right.
lot more profit on the table than I thought."
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not the
We
case.
do.
Well,
Yeah.
Jenny, this has been awesome. I really enjoyed speaking with you. And I want to do something different with you than I have with my previous guest and kind of give you a chance to turn the tables and put me in the hot seat. Is
Okay.
there anything you'd want to ask me or challenge me with this morning before I let you go?
That's a good question. Um,
This
no,
is your
yeah,
turn.
yeah. Knowing that you too have industry and I should say agency background, um, from your experience, what do you feel has been the biggest shift from then or like the past time you've had and today?
Yeah. Well, there's really, there's a couple of different kinds of clients, in my opinion, and I could be totally wrong, Jenny. There are those that are primarily driven by TV, and these are, the top 20 brands in the country.
Yeah.
And then there's everybody else that is leveraging digital to the
Mhm.
max.
Yep.
And um, and I think that's the biggest difference, quite
Hmm.
frankly. It used to not be so clear as that. And I think now that there really is a difference,
Yeah.
and you're not BBD&O, you're not Goodby Silverstein,
Right.
you're not, that's not who you guys are. What you are, and I mean, don't take this the wrong way. I mean, you are a regional agency serving regional clients,
Yeah.
unless someone else wants to deal with you, I would bet. And in that, it's really how well you know that region's marketing vehicles, whether that be in the digital space, just leveraging, chatbot or LinkedIn or whatever on a regional basis, or I happen to still think radio is still one of the most powerful
Yeah.
media vehicles out there, and it's as old as dirt. And some people think it's boring, but man, is it powerful! Especially during COVID. I used it during COVID and just actually blew myself away about how powerful it was
Yeah.
to put an ad out there on radio and watch the traffic in real time hit the website. So to me, what's different is it's just an advancement of digital where you can connect the consumer choice with the media and see the relationships and find those relationships between media and behavior for your client that pay off well. And the tools to do that and the insight to do that is incredibly advanced. And then the other thing I see is how fast things are changing. All of it is changing so fast
Yes.
and almost to a point where you can't lay any serious foundation. You can just pitch a tent and move it tomorrow. I mean, you got to just keep moving and moving and
Yeah.
moving. So it seems like to me then is, and you were saying your president's involved in building agents is, can you ever pause? And if you can't pause, how do you re-energize and not get beaten down by the pace of
Right.
change that's
Right.
required to be a great agency, to be a highly efficient, high ROI brand. Because, like you said earlier, hey, how's my CEO? Well, it doesn't really matter. CEO is not a thing. And I can tell you, I can't even tell you, back in the day when I cut my teeth on this, is probably you were in the business at the same time, like 15, 16 years ago, where
Yeah.
CEO was king and it was changing and you had to stay on top of it,
Yeah.
but now it's not a thing. So I think those are the things: digital
Hmm.
response, great feedback, but the pace of change
Yeah.
is a little frightening to me.
Yeah.
How are we going to keep up with it and keep
Yeah.
everybody excited about working on the business and not feeling like they got their butt beat, or it was wasted and I got to
Yeah.
do it all over again? Because these are steep learning curves. I mean, this
Hmm.
is not necessarily duckies and goats. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some challenge to it,
Yeah.
and it keeps changing. So to me, that's sort of the thing I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
How can I personally stay up to breast
Right.
with everything?
I think just to add to that thought, there are things that are changing and there are things that are foundational that change a lot slower. And so, like, the areas where we can be focusing on, like, brand and messaging and things like that, those things matter. And one thing we always say at the agency is 90% good and out the door is better than 100% and it never happens.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just gotta
yeah,
go with what you got, and if it's pretty
yeah.
good, let's do it. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and and
change is
and
it's
it's
yeah,
impactful. It's good. It'll make
yeah,
a difference. Yeah, I gotcha.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so one more question.
Yep.
In the past week, what's bothered you most about operating the agency?
Oh gosh. I would just say overall thing things are always, again, things are always changing. People need additional resources and I have to go find them. And which is fine and fun. Um, but I think from a, again, size perspective where we're at, I would love, again, to keep scaling, and that's the goal. We're going to keep scaling so that we can get more of these people on the team so that I
Okay.
have to hunt
So
less.
so strategically, it sounds like your biggest issue is scaling,
Scaling,
and
yeah,
tactically how to do that,
exactly.
without pulling your hair out, or
Yes.
working 24/7.
Thank you
Gotcha.
for summarizing that well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I get it. I got paid for, I
yeah.
mean, um, his background, I'm a marketing researcher by trade.
Mm,
I've been doing marketing research for
yeah,
40 plus years,
right.
and starting at square, at A, and made it all the way to Z, and now
Yeah,
I'm going back again. So um, I pride myself in doing research, and that's why I asked a couple of the questions I did. They were just
yeah,
personal about, how you talk to consumer. My stock and trade is talking to consumers.
yep.
You know, moderating focus groups, and this is a little bit old school, but moderating focus groups, doing executive interviews, one-on-one debriefs,
Yeah,
and you, like yourself, I had my own processes, my own models to get at, really what's most important. What is that
right.
quote unquote why before Simon even said it? I remember working and kind of trying to figure that out on my own. And then one day Simon gave his TED talk and I said, that's it. In 3 words or less, that's it.
Yes.
And, so I've got my own little model called means ends theory. I don't know if you ever studied it in school in marketing, but it's basically you find out what physically differentiates a product or service at the bottom, and then you ladder up to its highest level terminal values.
Yeah, you know
Uh,
what? I have done that exercise
yes.
before. Yes.
Well, I built a whole business on that, and it's
Yeah.
it's very powerful. So strongly recommend it. But anyway, um, it's been a real fun morning, and I've learned a lot. I feel like I'm tuned in to where the agency world is.